Greetings, universe. It is your friendly neighborhood entity, Veritas, here with episode 5 of the Nessynergy podcast. I would like to tell you first and foremost, before we get into it, before we introduce ourselves again, that this show is being sponsored by a new sponsor who has prepared this message. Number one, if you walk in to their place of business and say that you heard this spot on the Nessynergy podcast, you will get 10% off. Here's the message that I have to read. And no, we're not selling out. This is how you make moves in this world. Hello. You might remember us. Oh, you do. The problem is that you think it is still 2000. It is 2017. You have a perception of us 17 years old. Oh, you think we are not high quality. Oh, you think we are just for income tax check time. Oh, you think we are cheap made. Oh, you think that you're too good for us. Oh, you think that you're too professional for us. Oh, you think we're not cool enough for you. Oh, you think we're too boxy for you. Quit hating. Brought to you by Hyundai.
Wow.
Anyway, what do you think about that? I mean, that's just what they had me read, you know, and I can kind of see that, you know, it's 2017. Hyundai has stepped their car game up. So go in the dealership, get you 10% off. Tell them that we sent you. So as I said, my name is Veritas, the entity with the most, AKA the round peg in a square hole. You know, I've just never fit in. Who's that there eating some sort of carbohydrate cereal?
Yeah, you know, man, it's the bagger. I have more questions about our sponsors. That I feel like that's going to be a difficult message for us to relay back into the dealership when we go to visit. Those are really
no. I mean, it's kind of like twofold. It's like Hyundai saying, "Hey, if you hear about us, you know, let us know that you heard our message." And then it's also like, quit hating, you know, it's not 2000 anymore. The Hyundai is a legitimate contender. It's got a good warranty. So,
all right.
You know,
Nice.
I mean, they send me the messages, Anthony.
I know how it goes. All right, so let me do my intro. Yo, it's your boy Bags, the mayor of Little Africa. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck Gino. Fuck Chris. Yeah, I'm out here. Yo, what up, son?
So,
Oh, that's my no. I want you to hold those. Here. Okay.
Hey, so is that Vic? Like right on time, but we can't hear him. Hey, Vic, can you hear us? All right. Classic Vic.
Well, Vic shares, so
all right, we can get started. So I would like to start with a new gimmick that I'm thinking about doing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call it Veritas's Savage Post of the Week. The inaugural winner of the Savage Post of the Week comes from none other than my boy, Tim Stricta Erline. It comes from, really, he had about 5 or 6 I could have chose where he was going off on Knucklehead. And I just want to say this post, and Anthony and I were talking about this beforehand, and he said this was actually his too. When you read it, you probably already know where we're going with this. I'm just going to say it. This was posted yesterday at 6:47 p.m. from Stricta to Knucklehead, and I quote, "And your son sipped cum from a yarmulke." And your son sipped cum from a yarmulke. Nice internal rhyme and pretty cringy. Tim, I just want you to know that it's common when you're in recovery that you lash out with hate towards other people, but that's only because you realize that you really hate yourself. With that being said, you said that you wanted to show some love to somebody. Who was it?
I was still fucking geeking off that fucking cum-filled yarmulke. Jesus Christ.
What's Vic doing? All I see is
off. Like he's still on the call. Like I feel like he turned it on and he was like technology is just fucking so far like out of his grasp.
Let's assume that Vic is currently engaging in certain enterprises that must remain classified. Now, you were saying something about you wanted to give a shout out or some love or something, Anthony?
I was gonna spit one of Dead Man's OMs. I think he just dropped a new one. I'm gonna spit
I think that's a
this.
pretty solid gimmick, man.
He got some. He got a couple. Lord knows which one is. Oh, this one's like 100 years long. Let me find a beat up though, real quick.
All right.
So let's talk about anything and everything. What else is going on?
Well, while you're doing that, we are recovering from the time warp. There are certain conspiracies going around that Diode was in charge of this conspiracy, that Diode enjoys self-sabotage, which I don't know. I don't know where I think that fits in on the spectrum of truth. There's another theory going around that it's Knucklehead. He's using his hacksaw skills to piss off Vic, I think. Now, you know, the one person I really feel bad about in all this is Deadman, actually. I mean, the dude lost like 90% of his stuff, and it's internet gold. So I'm sorry for you, Deadman. And you said you didn't want to get on the podcast. I respect that, but just know that whenever you want to, man, a spot here is open for you. We'd love to have you on, brother.
Yo, so all right, so agreed, absolutely. But yeah, no, I'm so on the fence with my whole theory of Dio doing the time warp because at one side I feel like he's the only one who's capable of doing it. On the other side,
right?
How would he benefit from that? Like, he pays for the shit. Like, at some point, wouldn't it be good for him to see a momentum shift in the site?
Because if we look at it historically, and you and I have been around from before Diode's rule to during Diode's rule now currently, it seems like every time there's some momentum going, it's something hits us and brings us back, you know? So there is that theory that has some historical proof to it. But I mean, you know, yeah, that's the thing though, Anthony. What does Diode gain from that? What I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe he just likes toying with us.
But eventually, oh shit! Woo!
Oh man,
whack.
You're gonna read a Deadman open mic to a trap beat. This is gonna be excellent. I look forward to this. I think everyone else does as well. Let's see.
Not that beat though. I'm gonna find a different one. But yo, so, but fuck, I lost my train of thought. I just don't get why. Like, how does it make sense for Dio to?
You need new glasses.
So
why not
complete fucking mind erase.
You can choose from thousands of styles, including brands.
Knucklehead makes more sense, but
I don't think Knucklehead knows how to do anything but make like fucking like computer images of fucking wells and what is that other thing that he made, like
Minecraft?
Yeah.
He's built a Minecraft world where it's like the Bronx, and it's like oh, it's just a house, you know, dropping pixelated bombs.
Oh, he's got a little fucking Crane character and shit too.
Hey man, I'm gonna say this though, Nuck. I'm gonna say this, man. Crane gets my vote for the Rookie of the Year right now, man. We need more Crane. Need that character to be developed a little bit more.
Oh shit!
So you found a beat here, Anthony?
Yeah. Let's see what this is.
I'd like to give while we're waiting. Also, I'd like to give shout outs to Genocide, man. That was a pretty solid diss. Bad weather too, man. That was a good diss. All right, I hear you're cooking something there, Anthony.
It's because it sounds mad loud on my stick. Can you hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it.
And you can hear me?
Yes.
All right, here we go. I've never read this before. I've never even looked at this piece, so be easy on me, Netsynergy. Yo, do we manage piece of paper, the power of plastic? We follow our past, monochromatic, both a voter and ballot. Show me your stance, hold my hand and walk me up to the attic. Wipe the dust from the madness, hold my breath, drop it under a bridge that's overgrown with debris. Burning tires for warmth when it's 11 degrees. Snow dust on my window where initials are rubbed. Thumbprint diaries, black metal as a symbol of love. Intellectually stunted, neurosis level second to none. Revolution is a concept, but it never begun. To lose yourself creatively is locked and key. If it opens, you can stare at it continuously. Gravel rolls the shallow graves, Cadillac the masquerade, mask and cape, the combination evil doers lock the safe. Emancipation crop. Ah, I fucking lost it. He's going off on this shit too.
Yeah, man. It's pretty good.
That's mad long. I won't subject everyone to that.
Well, in the spirit of things, I had a little mini beef with Sharp, but you know, not in any way, shape, form, or fashion like I wanted to pull the heel turn. Just trying to put Sharp over, you know, with his whole subtle burial of the podcast and talking about trying to save text. So once again, shout outs to Schadenfreude. My week 3 out of 52 marathon text battle is up. Shade, you have until Sunday, and I want my win for last week when you no-showed. I'm just going to say that my first line says this: I carry weight, Doolies. Call your girl Mouth, Feldman, Goonies. So, you know, let it marinate. See, a lot of my stuff's over your head like an airplane, Shade, or beyond, or whoever you are. But hashtag save text. So with that being said, you guys did a pretty good job of giving us a lot of questions to ask. I don't know where Vic went. Who knows? He's doing his own thing. I hope he didn't get arrested.
He was in a,
you know,
he said he was going to be with a bunch of people and he was selling coke, but he didn't feel well.
Right. So let's hope you do well with your coke selling, Vic. All right, let's
get
see.
over
Let's
the
pull up the. All right, so let's see here. All right, Shine Dollar Sign says, "Where does Victor get his pedo tendencies?" So Knucklehead is basically asking questions in this thread and then attempting to answer them. So, where does Victor get his pedo tendencies? Question mark. Is it connected to his father leaving him as a child? Question mark. Does he want to get back at his dad by sleeping with him and gotcha journalist style springing his intentions at him mid-climax? What? I don't know what that means, but it's funny. Points for you, Nuck. Good job. Vic, this is why you need to be here. You need to get your priorities together in life. I know you're out there selling cocaine, but you need to be here defending your honor from Shine Dollar Sign with 2 video game pistols for an avatar. 4 bags. That's you, Anthony. What made you want to start lifting and eating healthy? And how did you stay the course?
Well, I had gotten it got pretty ugly for a while. I mean, Fat Bags was a real person. I think he's become like a whisper, almost a myth at this point. But Fat Bags was very real and very fat and very angry. And I just remember just feeling like fucking dog shit every day, just fucking headaches, and I was probably drunk 3 or 4 times a week, which, I mean, substantial posts were created during that time. It was great for boarding activity as a whole, but sustainability for me personally was not well. So I think at one point there was this fucking giant fat black lady I used to work with at the student loan place that I got fired from. And just this fucking massive monster of a fucking Leviathan. And I went over to bring her some shit, and she said to me the one day, she was like, "Wow, you're putting on some weight. Look at you. Your belly's hanging over," or something. And I was just like, that's it.
That's it, huh?
It's not okay. I mean, this is like the fucking most disgusting creature I've ever known. And she feels so comfortable with how gross I look to be able to actually confront me. So
like y'all were equals. Y'all were in the same circle.
Yeah, like I was her fucking peer, like one of her fucking sea creature peers.
like you were gonna go home and eat a whole pizza and then cry yourself to sleep, right?
I probably did.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you said that you were angry. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
More on the site. The site, I mean, it's a good place. It breeds anger well, especially. I don't really have much going on. It was hard to get pussy back when I was fat. Pussy was sporadic. And when you only really have the site to dedicate yourself at, then once, you know, it comes into jeopardy and you like have it challenged, I mean, you get angry. If somebody tries to take the only thing that you have, you get aggressive.
That's a fascinating psychological point right there. And that actually ties back into episode 1, where, you know, you need to have inner peace through an outward mission and an outward purpose. And if boarding is your entire existence, then that is indeed a sad existence. So, Bags, I'm glad that you are no longer fat Bags, and now you're fit Bags. Stronger than me, Bags, in certain areas. I'll give you that.
Whatever, and so I can be better.
I'm pretty sure that I could do more parkour type calisthenic movements. I think I have you with that. I think I would have you with endurance over a period of time. But I think raw power, you've definitely got me beat. And
give me like an idea though. What are we talking like?
All right, so you know, the push-up up, man. This is a Veritas original. This is where you bow down before the pull-up bar. You know, the one way up high, and you drop down, do a burpee push-up, then spring up into a pull-up, release back down into a burpee push-up, up. You know, you do about 20 of those straight, and that's getting your cardio and your exercise. Really, I'm kind of crazy because when I exercise, I'm like a psycho, and my whole mindset is I am fixing to fight anybody and everybody in this place right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like the world is fixing to end at any second, and I need to be ready. And I know that's probably ego, but I'm just crazy. But yeah, you're stronger than me in raw power, and I give you I would take off my bandana to you, sir, for that.
Well, thank you.
How do you
I'm
say what?
I am flattered. As far as sustaining it, it's just about not being a pussy. I'm gonna move on. I think there was some for you. I think we should do like a back and forth. I'm gonna ask you one now. Then, how's that sound?
All right. Yeah, that sounds real good. And I would also like to put Victor's questions up, and maybe we could hypothetically answer for him. Maybe.
Yeah, we can do that. Should we try? Should we attempt Nuck's first question?
Where does Victor get his pedo tendencies? Was Victor behind the pedo bear alias? I mean, I don't know. I don't know that he has pedo tendencies. Is it connected to his?
So listen. So you missed where that stemmed from then, because it's in the other thread where Stricta blessed us with the cum yarmulke fucking kiss of death. Like before that, Vic said something like, "I hope your fucking son sucks your fucking cock with your mother's pussy mouth," or something like along those lines. And then like Innovator was like, "Oh great, now we're jizzing in each other's kids' mouths." And then like Knucklehead was like, "Yeah, pedophile." So like that's where that came from.
Oh, all right. Okay. So we're not really going to hold that into account. Now here is something though. Is it connected to his father leaving him as a child? I think we could both speak for Vic in that he is a self-proclaimed mama's boy. You know?
Yeah.
I think that without trying to bury him or put him over, just trying to answer the question as best I can, maybe he misses his dad. I mean, don't we all miss our dads? Don't we?
Surely.
Don't we? I mean, if you say you don't miss your dad, you're probably lying, unless your dad molested you. And then if your dad molested you, then maybe you're angry at the world. Bags, did your dad molest you?
No.
Did your uncle?
No. I have never been penetrated by a man.
All right. Okay. All right. That's cool. So, I mean, I don't understand what the last part of it. That was really awkward, by the way. Thank you. I don't understand the last part of your question, Nuck. I don't know if that's an autocorrect error. You were going to ask me one, but I want to ask you Dick Nose's question, Bags, because this is great.
All right.
Dear Bags, dear Bags, from Dick Nose. Amen. Honestly speaking, that means you need to be honest here, Anthony.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, you must tell the truth. Honestly speaking, when I first joined NetSeas, what was your beef with me? Why did you dislike me? What was the real reason behind you disliking me? And then last edited by Dick Nose yesterday at 10:06 p.m. Reason, F this username, yo.
Eventually it's so wild because the username change has affected him so much that he's regressed to this point with this fucking post. I was in the shower earlier. I told you before we got on that I was thinking about this in the shower, how fucking delighted I was that this has still fucking scarred him to this day. Honestly speaking, like I'll fucking lie to you about this, you fucking weirdo. When you fucking joined NC, when fucking Christ was risen, the fucking, what was my beef with you? You were fucking annoying. What? All I remember is you came on. I was at a point where I was trying to just let people fucking be on the site because it was just not doing well because I had fucking ethered everybody in a fucking breathing distance of me, as I tend to do in spurts. So I just let you go on for a while and do your thing, but then there was too many LMFAOs and raffles and raffle zaps and lol zords, and you were just laughing at posts that weren't even fucking funny, just co-signing everything, and I didn't enjoy it. And then I don't remember. I think you were even a little bit slow to engage me when I first took you down a couple notches, but then eventually you bit hard, and then I had fun with you. I think I had one point I had like 4 alias accounts, just fucking barraging him from like 4 different sides. Like fucking one of them was like, "Oh man, this guy Dick Nose is the man. I can't believe this Bags is a faggot. This is bullshit." And the Dick Nose would get all fucking like excited, and then my other 2 alias would like just fucking hammer him, and it was literally me and Dick Nose for like 5 pages. He thought there was like 30 members in there.
All right, well, let me ask you this then. What do you think that he thinks is the reason why you didn't like him? Because that was part 2 of the question. What was the real reason? You know, like what do you think he thinks the reason is?
Right. Like the real reason. And honestly speaking, like I feel like I told him like way back when, like he was just being a fucking obnoxious dick rider. Like, what do I think he wants the answer to be? I think he wants it to be like, oh, you know, just, I was trolling. I feel like that's like what he's like looking for, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
You know, my only beef with Amen is that he seems to be a low-rate diode in that he's experienced everything. You know, he has an opinion on everything. He has a real-life anecdote, an example of everything, and he's always really good at it. That's my only beef with him. I will randomly see him in posts that I'm making about real-life things, and he'll just have long paragraphs, and I don't necessarily read them because I still think we need to, you know, like Batty and I were talking about, just, you know, come on out, bro. We love you. You know, you'll be welcome. This month is gay month, you know. And also, Amen, please respond in this thread how you feel about Bags thinking about your post in the shower. See what that does for you. Here's one. Oh, wait, you want to ask me one, Anthony?
I think there was some for you. Let me see. I'm not going to read another knucklehead question. He wanted you to say both me and Vic's weaknesses. Like, you can do that one if you want, but I feel like we already...
Well, I mean, see, are you going to be okay with that?
Yeah, we can do that one if you want. I don't really care. I feel like I've already told them to you, so it's not going to be like,
Right. So I'll for Vic, it would be his criminal lifestyle and his drug addiction. Both of these things put not only his freedom in danger, but also hold him back from greatness. And he and I have talked about that. Anthony, for you, and this is a nice tie-in, I would like to see you become the fullness of the lover archetype, which I think you have potential to be. And people are like, what are you talking about? No homo, hashtag safe text. So, Anthony, you are the addicted lover. That is the active, immature, bipolar area of the triangle of the lover. We need you up here, and you're like over here. I guess this is better than being the impotent lover, which is over here, but you are the addicted lover. So what I did is I got a book for you. This is I don't know if y'all can see this. Let me see. It's called from King Warrior Lover and Magician, or King Warrior Magician Lover. This is actually the Lover Within. This is the authors did a further study on each topic. So you see it gets all the way in depth.
Oh yeah, I need that.
Now here's the deal, Anthony. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. You weren't ready for this. You can go online and you're not going to find this. Trust me, I've looked. And if you do find it
the other day, but go ahead.
Wait, you what, sir?
I'm pretty sure I found it the other day, but
like, wait, you found it on audio and I paid all this money for it? Where'd you find it on audio? How do you do this? Maybe you shut down the site with your computer skills. How did you do this?
Okay, I don't know for a fact. I thought I saw it. Maybe I'm wrong. I know you want me to give you my address and then you mail me the book.
Yeah, I mean, I just want y'all to see that this is indeed a real book. It is from the Atlanta Fulton Public Library. It's real, and this book on Amazon costs a lot of money. And this is a gift from me to you. I think it'll help you in your quest to be the best person that you can be.
Yo, I really appreciate that, and I think I agree. I mean, I already knew that was coming. I already talked to you about it, but I'd like to actually expound upon that, maybe on a little bit of a lighter note, and talk about some of my recent Tinder dates.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so last Saturday, I met this girl for ice cream at Brewster's Ice Cream. We hung out for about 5 minutes, and afterwards, I gave her a pump fake hug. She wasn't very receptive. I grabbed her anyways, pulled her in. Pulled her in. I'm like, you're gonna give me this hug. So never talked to me again. I never talked to me again. Okay, so the next night I had this other girl come over. Things are going okay. She brings like some wine over. We're at my place, and we're just laying down, and she's drinking. I drank too. I drank a little bit, and things are like fine, whatever. I'm trying to like get this movie on so she'll shut up so I can start trying to like touch her and stuff. Right. And but she just like yeah, and so I can't like do anything. And then like eventually she's like, all right, well, you know, I'm getting too comfortable in bed. I don't want to fall asleep, and I gotta get up. So then we go downstairs and like we finish the rest of this bottle of wine that she brought over. And then she goes off on this like really fucking weird, like chill-filled, satanic conspiracy tangent. And it was just fucking blew me away. Like she's like, you know, Walt Disney was a fucking 33rd Freemason, and they fucking sacrificed to the child molestation gods, and you know, and I just saw Tupac's fucking movie in theaters the other day, and Suge Knight's a fake blood, and I'm like, my head was just fucking like swimming. So,
was this arousing you at all?
I tried to kiss her. I tried to kiss her to make her shut the fuck up, and so I like leaned in, and she was like, "Oh, and he's going in," like in this like super weird narrative, like nerdy voice.
Oh man, weird.
It was
weird.
So hard it was so cringy, and oh boy, this Filipino girl's been sending me naked snaps though on Snapchat, and I jerked off at work 2 times today.
So that's a good point. Back in my days of before I embraced the whole no-fap lifestyle, Batty and I used to joke. We used to say that if you could perform the holy trifecta at work, it would be the work fap, work crap, then work nap combo. That's where you go in the bathroom and either fap, then crap, then go back to your office and take a nap. If you could pull that off, then it was a good day. But I mean, I'm glad that you have the kind of job where you can just spend a few minutes, you know, beating off in the bathroom. Good for you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the people in the podcast universe right now are like, man, Anthony doesn't need that book, or maybe he needs that book now more than ever. I guess time will tell. Here's now we'll go to a serious question. This is from my boy Wasim. Is it Wasim or Wasim?
I think it's
Wasim.
Wasim.
Okay. Questions to all guests, including Veritas. I'll pass this one to you, Anthony. I think this will be good. Where were you 10 years ago around this time? What was your mindset? What were you doing back then? And where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years in the future? Real talk.
10 years ago, I'll be what? 20. Well, my birthday's on Monday. Happy birthday, Bags.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. I'll be 22 10 years ago, I suppose. So, man, Jesus Christ, I was getting fucking hammered like at least 4 times a day. I was selling blow. No Gino, no Little Africa. I was selling blow. I wasn't smoking much. I wasn't working much. I didn't have a license. I had just gotten my 3rd DUI. I think I had just crashed a car. I probably just got out of jail at that point too. I think I went to jail for a couple months for the 3rd DUI. So pretty fucking bad.
Yeah. So
yeah,
still dead at the Little Africa thing. So this Bags, he's still there, isn't he? I mean, the shadow resides a little bit. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, it's almost even like scarier too now because I have so much more like intelligence and life skills that if I were to revert back to that, it would just be so much more. It would just be so much worse.
That's right. That's exactly right. You and I, we had a talk the other day about the shadow and whatnot. I was at work and I was in a mood where I just was given absolutely no Fs. And I think that you know, I think we were all dirt people. I think we were all wiggers to a degree, you know, Caucasians involved in the hip hop scene growing up. 10 years ago, I would say 10 years ago, I had just gotten kicked out of my house, my parents' house. I was homeless, and a preacher basically adopted me and let me live in a room in the back of a church. So I was in a strange country town. Hurricane Katrina had just happened. I had an old Chevy Malibu that got repossessed. I was walking 8 miles to a minimum wage job at Radio Shack in the ghetto, and then walking back. It was hard times, man.
Jesus Christ.
Before that, yeah. But before that, just a year before that, I too was selling drugs and hurting people and doing a lot of shady, crazy, terrible things. So, you know, I mean, maybe we all got some Gino in us. And Gino, you know, this is a reoccurring theme, man. We're trying to help you. I mean, we've been there, man. We've been there. We feel you, man. We've been there. It's time to start growing up, man. And I know that you want to do better. So we want you to do better. Bags, this is a good part of the question. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? That's a good question. Shout outs to Wasim.
Well, I'm killing it now. I mean, it's really, there's no going back now. I mean, I finally hit a stride, man. I mean, my fucking fitness and health are fucking tip-top condition. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm fucking healthier than I've ever been. I feel better than I've ever felt. I fucking look better than I've ever looked, smarter than I've ever been. I mean, that's only going to keep going forward. I mean, I have no plans. I mean, at this point, I've already established like life habits. So, I mean, it's not something like, you know, tomorrow I'll just like, oh, I make a wrong decision. Like, it's not even, they're not even choices anymore. Like, they're habits. So, I mean, in 10 years, I should have a house, a wife. 10 years, shit, I'll have another kid. Because because I want to. So I'll have another kid in 10 years. That's mad long from now. So that'll happen. I don't know. I don't really want much more than that, honestly. I mean, maybe I'll have my. I was looking into getting like a personal trainer and fitness certificates, so I could do something like that. Maybe I get into that.
Yeah, man.
Maybe get a degree. Yeah, I mean, 10 years is a long time. So maybe some schooling, some house, wife, another kid. Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. I'd like to touch on something he said for all of y'all out there listening, and actually, and I mean really listening, because you remember from episode 1, it's not just about us coming on here and calling people faggots and losers. You know, there's some educational aspects here also. He says, I don't want to go back. And you should get to the point where you realize that living right and striving to be better today than you were yesterday, that becomes the norm. And when you really internalize that, I think that there is no going back. You don't want the constant chaos and bull crap and stress and drama. You don't want to have to look in the mirror and say, I don't like who I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like who I'm being. I don't like hurting people or hurting myself, etc. He talked about life habits. That's something you got to lock in as a man right now. I mean, if you're in your 20s, don't waste time like I did. Don't wait until you're in your 30s to really start that. Wake up an hour early. Get you a routine. Start doing these things now, and you get momentum. And then I got to agree with you, man. No ego, Mo. The growth now is becoming exponential. It's not just like step 1 to step 2. Now it's like the Fibonacci sequence where it's 1, 2, 3, 5. You see what I'm saying? Where the previous 2. Yes, exactly. Where, you know, let me see if y'all can see it on my shirt. I got the sacred geometry on here, but this camera sucks. Let me see if y'all can see that. Anyway, so in 10 years from now, if the book of Revelation happens and I'm not raptured, I plan to be the leader of the 7 shepherds and 8 principal men, Micah 5:5. Antichrist, you know where I'm at. Come at me. It's already, you know, I ain't scared. If not, I could probably literally run a country if I really wanted to. The capabilities that I possess on this planet are almost there's no stopping. And I know that sounds like ego, but please understand, people, that I exist on this planet to make everyone around me better. And I no longer want to be the main character in my story. I want to be a meaningful side character in other people's stories. And that gives me a great power. And also the last thing on that, because maybe I'm sounding like a douchebag and I'm not meaning to, is that I choose wisdom over power. And then I have both. If you settle for just power, you end up with neither. So that was a little preachy, but I enjoyed that. Here's a post from Arrow. I hope you don't mind if I read this, Bags. I'd like to see at Bags, at Veritas, at Victor occasionally slip in the word nigga on the podcast. Each seem to have an affinity for the word and apparently no problems using it in real life. Would be cool to see on YouTube. It's a harmless word in my opinion. You know what, Arrow? I'm not going to say it. Just because you want me to. Did any of y'all see what I did there? Bags, do you feel like saying it?
I don't know. Now I feel like it's labor. You know, I mean, this nigga posting the shit and make me feel all wild about saying nigga. See, it's not like I was gonna try to slip it in earlier and I completely forgot. Like, I don't know. I don't even in my biggest wigger days, nigga was never like ingrained in me. It never felt natural. I think I have said it on the site. You can type nigga better than you can say it, I think.
Right.
I think it flows off the fingertips better.
It is becoming, somebody said it's becoming the new bro, you know, or a dude. For me, my only beef with the whole thing is that no one has the right to tell me what I can or cannot say. Now, I have the God-given right to say whatever I want, and I will pay the consequences for that. But I mean, if you're in your 30s by now and you are deeply offended and troubled by a word, you know, that's really your problem. And I'd love to talk to you about it. Feel free to call me.
I think that's probably the biggest point is like, who gives a flying fuck?
Right.
Like, if Gino wants to be fucking like cringy and say nigga, like fucking by all means, bro. Like,
right. I mean, I literally had my neighbor's tree fall on the house that I'm trying to sell in the city a week ago. Like, I don't care that a white guy is saying the N-word, you know, so who cares? Let's see. Chill Phil. Would any of you guys be my friends in real life? If so, am I flying out there or are you flying here?
I didn't feel like you wanted to be my friend in real life when we talked on a podcast.
Ouch.
I feel
Ouch.
like you were really excited to like be friends with Vic, and that crushed me. So I don't know. Is this real? Or are you just hoping only Vic answers this question? I don't.
Phil, please hear the sincerity in his voice. The man sounds legitimately hurt. As for me, Phil, I'd be happy to be your friend in real life. Remember what I said about that Micah 5'5", but everybody else forget what I just said. Also, I would fly out there because I love that area of the country. And I want to get out there as much as possible because at any minute, the Yellowstone could erupt and pretty much destroy everything y'all got over there. Bags, how long have you been boarding?
How long have I been boarding?
Yes.
Well, as long as Netsy's. I didn't used to board like when I was a text battler. Like I literally people used the term boarding like years into my stay at NC, and I had to like ask somebody like, what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like somebody would, because I was like, I feel like it was strict almost like way back. And he was like, man, you should be boarding all day and night. I was like, you're saying I'm boring? Like, what? I don't understand. Like I thought I was like being really funny. So since NC won, 2009.
All right. Now that's making me feel a little bit dated. My first board was on a site called Wanna Battle on a MSN board. That was like 1998 or whatever. I've always been Veritas. Always been into it. I've kind of slacked off since I've gotten on Netseas, but not anymore. Hashtag save text coming at you, Shade. Bags, let me ask you this. Would you actually go to a Netseas cookout? If so, who's on the grill? Who's showing up? Who's not showing up?
I would be there. I don't think anybody else would be. Yo, like you could tell, like just by how many people like actually like come on and even do this fucking podcast. Like everybody is like, yeah, the realest ever, and fucking this, that, and the third. And I'll show up to the barbecue and I'll do this. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think really anybody wants to lose their anonymity or be revealed or fucking go out of the way. Like, I don't know. I would go. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Who else? Who would be on the grill? I mean,
Il Nika.
Yeah, that was like Il Nika or Dio. You know what would be? Nika would be on the grill, and Dio would be on his shoulder telling him how he was cooking wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, backseat driver and stuff. Yeah, man. Here's a.
You're like, man, don't you think you could turn them links over right now? Il Nika would be so Cuban and so angry.
Yeah, that's right. You'd be turning red in the face. You could see the steam coming off of his head. Here's. Quaker Oats says, who would you bet? I like how he just says, who would you bet? Who would you bet has the biggest penis on Netseas? And what makes you think so?
I mean, I'm no slouch myself, honestly. I mean, ask Pancake Bro and Big Baby. They see my dick.
What the?
It's kind of a long story, but
I bet it is. I bet it is, buddy. You gotta elaborate now. What the crap?
I mean, well, we were all three in a group chat for a while. I think that's been mentioned before. I don't know if it's been like confirmed, but
not like to the level of like peens being exposed. This is good, man. Go with this. This is the good stuff.
Well, no. So like, I just kind of like all three of us were in there. I had to set the tone, so I sent a Tinder text, but in it, subtly, was a giant picture of my cock also.
Wait, so wait. I'm trying not to heel turn on you right now, man. I'm trying to keep it face. So I mean, is that how you often set the tone? It's a very, very Tonio move of you.
Not always. I mean, I felt like that scenario just called for it. So I don't know. Who else do I think has a big dick on a site? I mean, we know Lars doesn't. We all seen his shriveled up little wiener. That's fucking hideous to look at.
looking like a mangled kielbasa.
I think Joe Met's got a real small dick because he's a fat piece of shit. Who else? I mean, there's black people on the site. Who's some black people? Karaoke is a black person. He's kind of like fat and ugly though too. So I don't know. Maybe he does because he's black. But I don't think that's like a real thing.
No, I worked with some black girls at that Radio Shack, and they said basically their consensus is that the average is the average, but the average black male, if he was to go above or beyond the average, he would go above, and then the Asian man, if he was to go above or below the average, he would go below. So that could explain the whole Arrow persona's motivation perfectly right there. Shout outs to Arrow. Come on the podcast, buddy, because you got a small dick, and we all know it. For me, as for the largest penis, of course it's myself, both metaphorically and literally. No one's touching me here, and I pretty much exert my will everywhere. And I hope that y'all are noticing that I'm slowly kind of working in subtle heel undertones here, just because Diode made that thread basically saying that I'm turning heel, but I'm not. I'm just doing this to mess with his head. I'd like to hear Bags and Hush run down their recollections of the RB NC rivalry. What is he exactly talking about?
I'll do this one quickly because I could probably talk far too long on this than I should. Netseas and rapbattles.com is what he's questioning. We have a few members that came from RB. Witty came from there. Oatmeal, I think, originally was from there. I think God of War is still over there with like fucking 2 people just
weird
holding down the fort. Remember Mimic? Fucking Chris Brown?
Horde? Was that
yeah.
Horde? Oh,
yeah.
Jesus, man.
So, like, he's over there, I think. So, I don't know. Like, my only beef with ever was just because it was, like, fucking NC Light. It was everything that we did, they fucking wanted to do. Everybody. And then it was the worst fucking people, too. It was whoever couldn't hack it at fucking NetSeas got fucking sent over there. So then, of course, yeah, so whenever I want to go over there, I got to fucking, I am either banned on site or I'll just get bullshit from everybody over there because I'm like fucking Hitler to them. So
you've worked tirelessly to build up, or your reputation precedes you, good sir.
I just go over there sometimes and there'd be threads on there with my name on them, and I haven't even been over there in months. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, like, if it was even really a beef or when it started or what. All I know is it was just some faggots over there.
I got you. Well, let's see. Let's see. Okay. For Veritas, were you an addict? What was that experience like? Yeah, I was. And one could argue that once you're an addict, you're always an addict. And I would argue that we're all addicts to something, you know? I mean, isn't that the truth of the matter? I mean, kind of like peeling back layers, right? You stop smoking weed, and then you realize that you look at internet porn too much. So you stop looking at internet porn, and then you realize that you have an anger problem. So you start working on your anger, and then you realize you have a problem with a lack of patience, right? I mean, aren't we all addicts? If we're being honest with ourselves, I think it all feels crappy. I mean, no one likes having to do something that they wish that they didn't do. I know that I've worked with clients, for an example, both male and female, who were prostitutes. I mean, they hated that crap. You know what I mean? I've never worked with somebody who was like, man, I'm a crackhead and I love it. You know, I'm fixing to go to some bathroom stalls at some gas stations and just see what I can do tonight. You know, I'm trying to get blitzed. I don't know.
I feel like Stricta would beg to differ.
Well, Strict man. Tim, I hope your recovery is doing well, man. I hope you're in the big book and you're working your meetings, man. I hope you're working your program. But Oates, I mean, I was I think this all touches on kind of the educational undertone of this podcast, in that it's all about getting better. And once you realize that deep down you are literally a piece of shit, you know, and you're really no better than anybody else, or you're at least every man's equal, and that you can always improve, you start noticing the addictions in your life. You start noticing the flaws and the character defects. And I mean, as for me, I got plenty of them on here. I know earlier I was talking about how I'm the greatest and all that, but I mean, that's just hyperbole. I mean, we all have issues, and we're all in this journey on this spinning planet, hurling through this empty universe, hopefully trying to make ourselves and everybody else better. Anthony, do you have any insight on addiction? Were you ever considered an addict?
I labeled myself a porn addict because there was a time where I couldn't even get hard anymore. That shit was real as fuck. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm like fucking 23 and I can't fucking get a boner. Like, how has this happened to me? There's no fucking way. And then I couldn't fucking figure it out forever. Like, I just thought it was like nerves. I thought I was like, because you fucking Google the shit and you put in fucking erectile dysfunction or fucking can't get a boner into the internet, and you see what fucking results you get. You're not gonna
Right.
get a porn addict. You're gonna get every fucking thing under the sun. So it took me like years, and I don't even know how I stumbled onto it. It was like, I don't even know. So I cut porn off for like 6 months. And then the poor unsuspecting girl that ended up being my first victim just fucking hammered her fucking pussy into Mars. Like, it was just so aggressive and ugly. But man, what a fucking triumphant return to the king. It was, yeah. So that would be my biggest addiction, I guess. I mean, I used to drink a little bit. I've done every drug, but not like ever like consistently.
And you know, I'd like to hear in y'all's responses. You know, what are some of y'all's addictions? What are y'all working on? What do you feel your character defects are? You know, we were expecting Vic to be here. We were going to be a little more savage, but he wasn't here. He's out partaking in things. And I think we've been entertaining today, Anthony. We got a good charisma, and we now know that you showed your wang to Big Baby. So we could talk for an hour about that. At any rate, we have had some educational tidbits here, and I'd love to have some feedback. You know, what is some character defects you have? What is some things you wish you did that you didn't do? I mean, be real with us, you know? I'm tired of all this. I'll be on the podcast, but I don't want to be on the podcast. You know, it's like, freaking do something, man. That's the challenge. Do something, because we're going to keep raising the bar in our personal lives and in the podcast life. And we want you to do the same thing. We want you to have nice things. Anthony, I think we can start finishing it up. We're right around the hour mark. Do you have anything else you'd like to discuss? Anything we need to talk about?
No, I don't know. My laptop went off. I don't know. I think we covered everything we were going to cover. Maybe I should like issue a couple death threats to Nuck and Vic's leave, because he was pretty adamant. So let me see. Hold on. Let me try to channel Vic. Nigga, yo, you see me out here? I got all these things on. I'm out here with my boys. You talking about pull up? I pull up. I don't give a fuck. This nigga, this Jew shine, this fucking piece of shit. You can eat a dick, you fucking. I come through and smack your mama's mama. You fucking bitch ass son. Yo, you try to throw fists? You come out here. I'm out here. I'm always out here. I'm on a stoop. I'm out here pushing things. I got the droopy T-shirt. I got the old cassette, Nintendo, iPhone 7. It don't matter to me, man. Nothing matters to me. My life is beautiful. My life is glorious. I don't have to give no fucks about no knuckle fuck. No fucking Jew shine. This goddamn cake. Fuck you, son. Fuck you.
Oh man, that That's how you end a podcast right there. Man, that was well played. That was really well played.
That was just how that I don't want that to be interpreted for me. I think Nuck's doing a good job lately. So
yeah. I mean, I'll put over Nuck since he came back from his hiatus. He's been bored and better. Shout outs to Diode. I hope you're able to pick up a few subtle heel undertones here. But as soon as you think you got it figured out, I'm gonna change it up on you because that's how we do. Shade, I'm coming at you, bro. Every week, man. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna be in the open mic. I'm gonna be feeding open mics. I'm gonna be dropping open mics. I'm gonna be doing battles. Hashtag save text. And we doing the podcast. So step your game up. For Vic out there in the streets, I pray you didn't get arrested because we saw you and then we didn't see you. Anthony, it's been a pleasure as always. I hope you all enjoyed this podcast. We'll be back at you next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Adios.
Black.